Are vibrators, dildos, and cock rings. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are stores filled with hundreds, maybe even thousands of sex toys. As I was researching for this webcast, I was a little alarmed by what's out there.
I poke over her shoulder. I'm like, what are you looking at?
I'm like, I know I look like a pervert, but I'm not. I'm just doing some research on sex toys, I promise. Making sure our daughter is not in the room. There are so many that I didn't even understand. Like, would someone really use them?
People don't just watch porn to watch porn. People watch porn to masturbate, okay? And what happens there is that starts to really trick your brain, rewire your brain. It's the deviant, it's the fantasy, it's all those things that porn kind of carries.
Yeah.
And what happens is when spouses find that their partner's masturbating to porn, it can feel like a betrayal.
Yes.
It can feel like a betrayal because the question is, why couldn't you get off with me? And there's a lot of messages we've gotten saying, I can't orgasm with my partner.
With my spouse.
I have to orgasm on my own. That's an issue.
That's a major issue and a red flag.
Yeah.
I've used more, and I'm like, wow. And that's because the vagina has way more elasticity than the anus.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Babies come out of a vagina, if you didn't know that. Anatomy lesson here. And so...
If you didn't know.
If you didn't know, that's what happens. And so it can be very painful for women to the point where they can tear or even bleed their rectum.
Right.
And that
makes sense.
Is very painful.
It makes sense.
Yes.
We don't poop babies out.
No. I hope not. Okay.
G-related concepts and ideas of blindfolding or wrist or ankle ties.
Maybe a little whip. Just a little. If you're blindfolded, just a little. Okay. Not a hard whip.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
To me, that seems more PG. PG-13?
I wasn't ready for that one. I'm still okay. I'd be fine with blindfolding. I don't know if I'm okay with the whips. Either way, here's the thing. Sex with the respect that it deserves. Because even going into marriage not knowing much about sex, and now, years and years after being married, I really treasure our time together. I think it's incredible. And yet, so here's this like beautiful thing between us. And then I look out into our culture and I see something that has been dragged through the mud, that is dirty, filled with shame. Or it's so commonplace that sex is meaningless.
Yeah. It's an act only.
And that to me is like, I just, this feels weird.
Well, talking about your sex life can be uncomfortable. I think a lot of couples struggle. It's not just us.
Yeah. But you know who doesn't struggle?
Who?
Members to Marriage 365. Because we actually have these vulnerable conversations about how to talk about sex without it feeling strange. You also get to take some of our courses, our checkup, and some helpful worksheets.
So, start having a naked conversation.